Hello and welcome into the Knicks-Verse, the very late edition for the night owls. If you're still up, if you're watching this tonight on the night that the New York Knicks pulled off an incredible win, impressive, tremendous, gutty. I mean, it required some players playing 48 minutes, another one playing almost 47 minutes. Truly, impressive is beyond description, especially when you consider the events that took place leading up to the beginning of this game. The Knicks were hit with some bad news. OG Anunoby, flare-up with the elbow. We're going to get into all of that. We got highlights, and we got one special play that happened that secured the victory for the New York Knicks. And it came from someone I wouldn't say unlikely anymore, the way he's been playing. But if you looked at his career, if you looked at him last season, if I told you this is what he'd be doing now, you would be very, very surprised. Even me, who I am a huge Deuce McBride fan, supporter, early on, before he was even drafted by the Knicks, I singled him out as a perfect Thibodeau type of player, and boy, has he totally bloomed into becoming that. Thibs showed so much. He started Deuce tonight when OG Anunoby could not play. Well, let's get into it. Come on. Here we go. New York Knicks beat the Golden State Warriors 119-112 in San Francisco. That is right. They took San Francisco's heart tonight. They're not leaving their heart in San Francisco. They took it from them. This was a tremendous victory. Of course, without Jalen Brunson, this team, I don't even want to think about where this team would be at this point. The fact that the New York Knicks are missing their entire starting front line, and they could go to San Francisco and put a hurt on them the way they did tonight is truly, it's a testament to this man's greatness. And Woj had some interesting words about him, and I'll show you that part too as well. But when you look at this situation, it's just, I can't stop smiling at this moment, but at the same time, I am concerned. So that's the life of a Knicks fan at this moment. This is a very, very amazing and yet somewhat frustrating season in terms of injuries, and there's a lot of uncertainty with them. But we got to enjoy what's happening. And what's happening is this man is proving to be one of the 5 best players in the NBA at the moment. He's proving that to be. He's in the top 5 in scoring. Right here. But this guy right here, unbelievable. He played all 48 minutes, and he got his 5th triple-double of the season. 10 points, 11 rebounds, 11 assists, picked up a steal. Finished a plus 7. Yeah, of course. He played the entire game. That's why the final score is 119-112. There you go. There's an example of how plus-minus works. Now, there were moments where I thought Thibs had an opportunity to take him out and Deuce as well, and they started to tire. That was late towards the third quarter, with 4 minutes left, 3.5 minutes left. I think he could have taken him out. I think there was even a timeout at the time. Could have taken him out, rested him for a couple minutes. Hey, and then you call another timeout. If the game starts going awry, then you put them back in. But at least they got a couple minutes rest, because a couple minutes of rest in basketball time is about 2-to-1 ratio. So just do it, man. But he didn't do it, and it almost hurt the Knicks, because in the beginning of that fourth quarter, they looked a little shaky. Fatigue. What happens with fatigue? You make mental mistakes. I think someone inbounded the pass to Josh Hart, and he just let it go out of bounds no one was even guarding him. And he was tapping his chest. And that's what happens. You get mental fatigue. And he couldn't hit a shot from the outside at all, but man, did he hustle. He would not stop. And he got some big rebounds, a big key bucket. And he got one of his classic, he gets the rebound, it just goes coast to coast, and he finished. Every bucket was instrumental, but this one was the most instrumental. Let's go to it right now. 108.99. Boom. That was it. That was the game. When Deuce hit that one, game was over. Deuce McBride finished with 29 points, career high. Career high. Right here, career high for Mr. Miles Deuce McBride, who I'm not going to call him Miles Deuce McBrunson, because that's how he played tonight. He was the leading scorer in the first half for the Knicks. He set a new career high tonight with 29 points at Golden State. Beautiful game. And not only that, it was his defense. Outstanding defense tonight. Tonight, he was on Steph Curry in that fourth quarter. When, the game was tight, it was under 10 points, and you were thinking, you know what? 2 Steph threes, and this game is right there. And I the whole entire time, I never felt comfortable. I never felt that the Knicks were going to that we were safe until that 3-point shot by Deuce that I just showed you. But check this out. Steph played 8 minutes in that fourth quarter, 1 of 5. 1 of 5. And a lot of the times was just pure Deuce defense. It wasn't just him missing shots. It was pure Deuce defense, because even when Steph felt he got a little bit of space, remember, Deuce has those extra long arms, and he's constantly stalking, just barreling down on the shooter, and he could feel his presence. And that little 1/10 of a second where you have to think, do I have enough time? It's enough to throw your motion off. And we're talking about the greatest pure shooter in the history of the game. That is the level of defense that this guy provided tonight. Deuce McBride tonight finished a plus. Well, he was a plus. Oh, he was only a +3. Look at that. He was only a +3 tonight. Damn. But he played 46.5 minutes, 29 points, hit 6 of 9 from the 3-point line. Outstanding for him. The New York Knicks, they shot decently from the 3-point line tonight, 37.8% as a team. We saw the return of Dante DiVincenzo's efficiency from the 3-point line, because he's been suffering of late. He's been shooting under 30% for the past, I believe, six or 7 games. Tonight he shot 4 of 8, 50%. And who else was of note? That was pretty much it. Jalen Brunson hit 3 of 9 from the 3-point line. So those 3 combined, actually they scored all the 3-pointers except for one Alec Burks 3-point shot. I'll get into the Motown Boys again, but let's keep going with the good stuff. Right here, Christian Winfield, believe he's from the New York Post, tweeted this out. Your New York Knicks have won 4 in a row, 6 of their last 8, 6 of their last 7 versus above 500 teams. And we've only had OG for 2 of those games. Or 3 of those games. Think about that. No, 2 of those games. Sorry, 2 of those games. 3 straight on the road. Right there. Beautiful. Yeah, they went to Portland, took care of business there. That Sacramento game was huge. And then tonight against the Golden State Warriors. Outstanding. Actually, no, it's 3 games. OG's played 3 games because he played the Sixers game as well. The second of the Sixers game. So this is what happened here. Steve Popper, about 4 hours before the game started, Thibodeau said that OG returned to New York and had an MRI, which came back clean. Thib said OG's elbow had a flare-up, which seemed fairly obvious to anyone watching him short his corner threes versus the Kings, as we pointed out in the previous recap. Fortunately, the MRI came back clean. Phew. It's highly unlikely Anunoby will play versus Denver. I think he's going to rest a few games. They have to get that flare-up back down because, and I have a feeling it's perfectly natural that this happened. I don't think it's a re-injury. It's just a flare-up. It's just usage. There was an operation. There was probably some scarring in there. Who knows? Who knows what the actual issue is? I'm not a doctor, but the MRI came back clean, and that gives me. It calms me. It just means OG just needs a little more time. Now, Thibs was pressed he was pushed in the post game about whether OG may have come back too early, and Thibs basically said, look, there's medical protocols, and he passed all of them. This stuff just kind of happens sometimes after surgery, and people are coming back from injury. So, nothing to get too crazy worried about. However, there might be something else to worry about. So Woj, during the NBA countdown, said, and this New York Basketball has tweeted this out repeating it here. Woj, quote, I'm told that OG Anunoby is going to be out more than just tonight. That right elbow's flared up again. They needed to stay calm. They needed to calm down. How long he's out? Unclear. But it's certainly a concern for Knicks. They don't know status of Randle moving forward. They don't know status. I have a few things to say about that in a second. And then, but this is a nice thing that he said here. Outside of LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Jalen Brunson has been the most impactful free agent maybe in the last decade. Drink that in. He's pulled this entire organization that had been rudderless for years together. He's as good of a leader, as good of a locker room character guy as there is in the NBA. And he's taken his game to places that I don't think the Knicks, even the Knicks, expected. What he's done is remarkable. And that is absolutely true. Very well said, Woj. It's absolutely remarkable. I do think that they knew he was a character guy. They did think he was going to be a leader, a good leader. I think they definitely believed in that. And I would say the team was rudderless before we signed him. So I think that's a little bit of extreme, but the organization was rudderless pre-Leon Rose coming to this team. They just didn't have a direction, didn't have a plan for how to get to where we are right now. And Leon definitely brought that to fruition. But there is a lot of truth in what's being said here. But the fact that remains, Jalen Brunson is probably the most impactful free agent signing of the last decade. That is outstanding. Kudos to Leon. And kudos to Thibs and the relationship he had with Rick Brunson and all of that. Fantastic. Now here, Tommy Beer, he retweeted this Woj discouraging report, which I read to you already. But then this is an interesting thing that Tommy Beer adds at the end of his tweet. Knicks' hopes / aspirations this season now tenuous due to injury issues sidelining their starting forwards. Now, it's not just their starting forwards. They're missing their entire starting front line when you include Mitch Robinson. But the way that Isaiah Hartenstein played tonight, actually, even though Deuce had that tremendous game and played 46.5 minutes, and then Brunson, the high scorer, with 34 points, almost got to 40, again, for a third straight time. He missed a few buckets in that fourth quarter that would have gotten him to 40. Even with all that said, Isaiah Hartenstein probably was the star of this game. Sorry, Josh Hart. I know the triple-double and playing 48 minutes is amazing. But when you look at what Isaiah did in his 25 minutes of play, because remember, he's on minutes management. You can't play him too much. He hit 6 of his 7 shots and 1 of 2 from the free throw line, but got 10 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, and 1 block. And his plus-minus was a team-high plus 26. So the Knicks outscored the Golden State Warriors by 26 points in the 25 minutes that Isaiah Hartenstein played on the court. That is phenomenal. But even with that said, Mitch, in my opinion, is still the starting center on this team. When he finally gets into shape, when he finally returns and gets into shape, I think that's the way it'll end up. But I'm sure at the beginning, Isaiah will start, and then it will ease Mitch back into game shape. But it's interesting to note, with this kind of uncertainty about Randle, that Mitch might actually return before Randle. Now, that is not a bad thing. I'll tell you why. And I probably should have had this stuff up here before, and I apologize for this. I forgot that I had these things. But I did a little more research, and I found something from, actually, it was a British health website. And basically, they say here, it takes up to 16 weeks to heal after it's been put back into place. We're talking about a dislocated shoulder. Here's the other thing. Recovery time. You can stop wearing the sling after a few days, but it takes about 12 to 16 weeks to completely recover from a dislocated shoulder. Let me repeat that. 12 to 16 weeks. Okay? So he injured January 28th, I think, 29th, 28th, right? So 12 weeks, that's 4 months. That puts him at March 28th returning. Wait, no, April 28th. April 28th. Yeah, that's the earliest he would return. April 28th. That is, I would just estimate. I don't have the playoff calendar in front of me right now. What, late first round, maybe early second round? That's tough. That's tough to ask a player to do when he hasn't played. Let me just confirm that though, because I don't want to be saying stuff that is not accurate. That would be lame. But in terms of the dates, but in terms of what medical professionals, this is what medical professionals talk about with dislocated shoulders. You'll usually be able to resume most activities within 2 weeks, which we've seen that he did. You should avoid heavy lifting and sports involving shoulder movements for between 6 weeks and 3 months. So we know that he accelerated that. Again, concerns. So the 28th, yeah, okay, yeah. April 28th would be the first time. That's 12 weeks. And if it's between 12 and 16 weeks. Now, one thing, I'd put Randle at the early part of the return. He's a phenomenal. He's a human being in probably in the most phenomenal shape there is. He's big, he's strong. So I would say 12 weeks is more reasonable. 16 sounds pretty extreme. So 12 weeks for a professional athlete like him, he's such a physical specimen. I think that's what. So right now, expecting him to return during the season is highly unlikely, especially with the uncertainty of that we're hearing right now. He hasn't been cleared. He's not really doing contact. He's not playing. So there you have it, guys. Your care team will advise you. They say here, you'll probably be off work for, okay, blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's not right. Okay, so the final thing is some people tear ligaments, tendons, and other tissues when they dislocate their shoulder. If these tissues have been damaged, you may need surgery to repair them, which we know he had some kind of a tear in the labrum. This can significantly reduce the risk of dislocating the same shoulder again in the future for some people. Now, there was also something else here where, between the ages of 25 and 40, they are less likely to re-injure the shoulder, and Randle's 28, right? So 28 or 29. So I don't think we're going to get Julius Randle back before the end of the season. And if he does come back for the end of the season, it's going to he's going to be in the danger zone in terms of high risk of re-injuring the shoulder. So that is the situation we're in. That's the tough part of being a Knicks fan right now, or being anyone involved with the Knicks at this moment, because this team looks like a team that could really contend. A fully healthy Knicks team, I'm telling you, it takes the Celtics to Game 7. Whether they win Game 7 or not, we'll see. But I think this team can get to Game 7, and whether that's in the Eastern Conference Finals or not depends on the seeding. This is what we're looking at with the New York Knicks right now. That's how good this team can be if healthy. Now, we got to look at what the team is at the moment. I think OG will return. I do believe he will return. It's just a flare-up. He looked good when he came back. Remember, he hit a couple shots and everything, and then once the shoulder started flaring up, he was shorting his shots and stuff. So, but I think the rest, it's going to be beneficial. He's going to come back, let's say, in a couple of weeks. I'd say yeah, maybe 10 days. Maybe he misses 3 games, maybe 4. So not that worried about OG at the moment as I was previously. So, but with Randle out, but if we get Mitch back, that'll help. That'll help tremendously. So this is the world of the Knicks right now. A lot of uncertainty in terms of our starting front line, but the players that were out there on the court tonight took care of business. Fantastic, tremendous win. And here, when you look at the conference standings, we're getting to the highlights soon. Conference standings right here, the New York Knicks are firmly in 4th place, 1 full game in front of Orlando, who keeps winning, and I'm sure they are probably pulling their own hair out, like, how do the Knicks keep winning? Even though we're like, Orlando, can you lose a game? And then Cleveland, man, I don't know what's going on with Indiana. Halliburton, come on, bro. You had one job, beat the Cleveland Cavaliers without Donovan. Couldn't do it. So the Cavs stay 2 games ahead of us. But look at that little cluster right there. We are just 3 games out of second, 2 games out of third. And if the team keeps playing the way that they were playing tonight, third seed is within the realm of possibility. And especially if we get OG back, and let's say OG rests 3 games. So we get him back, and one of them is we got Denver next, which was always going to be a tough game to win anyway in Mile High. So I had that as a loss anyway. So then we got the Nets, and I believe we have Toronto. Okay, I'll have to look that part up, but. If we can survive those next 3 games, let's say we go 2-1 in those next 3 games, so it would be 43-28, beautiful. And then OG comes back, feeling good, and then Thibs. One thing I got to say, we didn't hear about this until later on, but OG was on a minutes restriction or recommendation. Let's put it that way. And then Thibs played in 33 minutes or 35 minutes or something. So these type of injuries, the more you use it, boom, that's when you get these flare-ups. So they should have eased them in a little more, like the way Thibs is treating Isaiah Hartenstein right now. That's how it's going to be with OG when he returns, which is fine because the way that's, we need him at this point, but we want him healthy. We don't want this to happen again. So that's the situation we're at right now. The New York Knicks are now over 600 winning percentage. 41-27, fantastic. 14 games over 500, and a lot of that is because of OG Anunoby, but not tonight. They pulled it out without him. So let's get to the highlights. Feel like I've been talking a long time. Here we go. The game started off beautifully for the Knicks. I think they were up 20-9 in that first quarter, and a lot of it was attributed to Dante DiVincenzo hitting some key buckets right away. He came out firing. He was 2 of 4. He hit that one. He had a nice 3-pointer. He contributed 5 points right there. But Isaiah Hartenstein, in just about a little less than 6 minutes of play, contributed 8 points and 3 rebounds in that first quarter, and he established the physicality that was needed inside. I feel like I have a hair right here. Sorry, guys. But Deuce McBride played the entire first quarter. 11 points for him. 3 of 4 from the 3-point line. 4 of 5 overall. And Josh Hart also played the entire first quarter, all 12 minutes, but he didn't even make a bucket. He didn't make a point. He was 0 for 4. But he got 3 assists, 2 rebounds, and he played some tremendous defense. This was a nice play right here. Look at that. Look at Deuce right here. Beautiful. Yeah, see? Got off to it was a 29 start, and then they called a timeout. Golden State started climbing back in. The passing was really sweet in this game. The Knicks tore a little page out of the Warriors handbook. Here's another 3-pointer. Look at that nice high arc. Later on in the game, the arc was leaving Deuce because he was getting tired. That's why that 3-pointer that he hit late in that fourth quarter was so monstrous, because he wasn't as sharp at that point. What was I going to look at here? Here we are. Look at that. I don't even know how you make that play. That is sick. That is I love this play. The way he poked it out and then that was a nice 3-point shot. Dante in the second quarter, that was his one 3-pointer that he made. In the second quarter, Jalen Brunson was the high scorer, 10 points, 4 of 8, but Deuce still kept contributing. He contributed 18 points, and Deuce finished the half as the leading scorer on the Knicks with 19 points. Little Deuce McBride comes through with 19 big buckets in just 2 quarters. On the day that he started in place of OG Anunoby. The thought that Thibs has come this far, that he is now embracing these multifaceted lineups, with flexibility, with switchability, small lineups, really small lineups. I think a 6'1" guard, another 6'1" guard, and then 6'4" and 6'4". That's the Dante and Hart, and then Ihart was 7 feet tall. I think the average height for the starting lineup was, I think, probably 6'3" and a half or something, 6'4" at the most. Now it works against a team like the Warriors, who do go small and they enjoy going small. But that said, You still got to execute properly. The one major disappointment, other than the Motown Boys, once again, the Motown Boys could not translate the positive impact that they had on the game against the Sacramento Kings. They couldn't translate it into this game tonight. They were, Burks was in 8.5 minutes, 1 of 4, 5 points for him, 1 assist. And then Bojan, in his about 10 minutes of play, also 1 of 4, didn't hit any three-pointers. Contributed 2 points. So between the two of them, they contributed 7 points tonight. Oh, no, wait, that's the first half. Hold on. It got uglier, yeah. Between the two of them, that was the first half. Between the two of them, they only contributed 9 points. So that's it. Only 2 points. They only contributed 2 points in the second half. That is rough, guys. That is rough. That your two big guys that are supposed to come off the bench and give you some scoring gives you 2 points in the second half. That's why Deuce had to play almost 47 minutes. That's why Josh Hart played all 48 minutes. All 48. That is wild. It will catch up to him at some point, but the beauty of the way Josh Hart approaches the game is he's a connector and he's a chaos agent. He's just out there to disrupt the opponent's offense, get those loose balls, get those he's the best. This is the best rebounding player in the NBA under 6'4" or 6'4" and under. Oh, nice there. Oh, it's repeating again. All right, let's look at that. Let's go to the stats now. All right, as you can see, Isaiah Hartenstein finished with 13 points tonight. Brunson 34, McBride 29. Josh Hart finished with 10. He got the triple-double, 10, 11, and 11. And Dante DiVincenzo, his efficiency finally returned. Like I said before, he's been suffering from a lack of making buckets. He just hasn't been making buckets at the rate that he had been before and the rate that this team needs him. He's essential right now. So he came through tonight against his former team, which he did struggle a bit in the previous game. I mean, the Warriors beat our asses last time. So this was a nice revenge. Good retribution, especially on their court. So 18 points for Dante in his 31 minutes. As you can see, Precious Achiuwa did struggle tonight. His defense was terrible. He got caught looking the wrong ways. He didn't block out players. What's his name? The rookie, Trace Jackson Davis, really put a hurt on Precious. He scored 13 points, 6 of 6 overall, 6 rebounds, a lot of putbacks that Precious should have been blocking him out and keeping the Warriors inside, around in this game, because the Knicks probably could have had like a 15-point, maybe 18-point lead at some time, and they couldn't. They got it to 15 points at one time. They could have extended it, and they weren't able to for mental mistakes. They just Precious got burned often. He was in the wrong place a lot of times. That's something that I'm sure the coaches are going to break the film down and wake Precious up a little bit there, because we need him, especially if OG is going to miss another 2 games. So we need him to basically deliver for us. But he did play 18 minutes. Contributed 6 points, and he did pick up 9 boards. The Knicks got 44 boards overall. They shot 48.4% for the game. Here's the plus minuses. As I told you before, Isaiah's was plus 26. Fantastic. Brunson plus 13. But look, Precious minus 14. I think this is the first time Precious has had a plus minus in quite a while. Bojan did end up with +2, but Sims played a little bit, which they needed him, because you got to keep these guys out of foul trouble as well. But he only ended up playing 5 minutes. I think it was all in the first half as well. Burks 5 points, finishes with a -2. Here we go. The Golden State Warriors. Steph Curry shot 8 of 20 overall, 4 of 13 from the three-point line, 27 points for him. He was a high scorer for Golden State. Second high scorer was Trace Jackson Davis, 19 points for him. See, why does it say? Oh, this is second half. I keep looking at the half stats here. My apologies for that. Trace Jackson Davis was 9 of 9 tonight. Sorry about that. Klay Thompson gave him a nice scoring punch, 5 of 10 from the three-point line. 18 points for him and 8 assists. Some great passes. There was some really good passing in this game tonight for both teams. And let's see, the Warriors ended up shooting almost 39% from the three-point line, but the Knicks held right there with them the whole night. Here are the team stat comparisons. So you can see the Knicks, they outshot them from overall, and then the three-point line, they were just close enough. They hit the same amount, but the free throw line, Knicks went to the charity stripe 20 times, and let me tell you, it should have been probably 30 times. Brunson was getting beat up left and right. There was a play at the end of the first half, or the third quarter. It was the end of a quarter play, and Brunson drove. He got hit right in the face by Draymond Green's arm. No call. That's a foul. No call. 20. They hit 17 of 20, 85% for the Knicks. Beautiful. We out-rebounded them, and the Warriors are a decent rebounding team, even though they're small. I believe they're in the top 5 in rebounding in the NBA. But the Knicks are, 1 or 2. I can't remember. 44 to 39 right there, plus 5. Assists, 29 assists. There we go. Beautiful. I told you, the passing was crisp tonight. 6 steals for the Knicks. They don't only one block for the Knicks, but it was a key block. It was an Isaiah Hartenstein block. That was at a very instrumental moment. The turnovers were manageable, 13. That's decent. Fast break points, we lost that one 15 to 12. The -3 there. Points in the paint were even 50-50. And Golden State Warriors never led in this game. Knicks' largest lead was 15. All right. Thank you so much for watching this. Again, my name is George. Please subscribe. Follow me on Twitter. And, share this video or share any of my videos. I would greatly appreciate that. We're over 8,300 subscribers now, trying to get to 10,000. Would appreciate the greater support. It'd be awesome. And hit that thumbs up button for me and drop your comments. Definitely want to hear your thoughts and feelings about this, especially the night owls who are watching this right now. All right, and if you're watching this tomorrow, you're going to be very, very happy because this was an amazing win for the Knicks. And the news about OG, it's not devastating. It's just a part of the process. That's the way I'm going to look at it at this point until I hear otherwise. But the news about Randle, it's not that the news about the uncertainty about Randle's return, combined with the research that I did and brought to you guys about, actually dislocated shoulders and how long it takes, 12 to 16 weeks. That is a bit of an eye opener. I didn't know that before myself, so that's something to consider. Hoping that Randle returns before the end of the season, I think is kind of unlikely. So that's the downside of that part. But okay, thank you so much for watching this. I will see you around the Knicks-Verse.